Meow, my friends. Iranian agents have been caught with their whiskers in the cream, plotting to assassinate none other than our freshly elected Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump. It's a tale so wild, it makes House of Cards look like an episode of Sesame Street. Our story's protagonist is Farhad Shakeri, a 51-year-old Afghan national who's apparently been moonlighting as Iran's most incompetent assassin. This guy's life story reads like a rejected Netflix series pitch. Deported from the US in 2008 after a 14-year stint in the slammer for robbery, Shakeri decided to spice up his LinkedIn profile by joining Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Talk about a career change, from robbing banks to plotting presidential assassinations. That's what I call climbing the criminal career ladder, folks. But Shakeri wasn't working alone in this perfect storm of international intrigue. He enlisted the help of two New Yorkers, Carlisle Rivera and Jonathan Lodeholt. These guys weren't exactly 007. Their idea of high-tech surveillance was probably binoculars and a really long selfie stick. They were tasked with keeping tabs on Trump and other targets, including Iranian-American journalist Masih Alinejad. Imagine their group chat. Bro, spotted the target. He's eating a Big Mac. Again. Should we pounce? It's like they were playing pin the assassination on the president and couldn't decide which date would be more convenient. Meow. Here's where it gets juicier than a can of tuna. The IRGC, that's the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, not a boy band rejected from America's Got Talent, apparently thinks assassinating presidents is a totally reasonable foreign policy strategy. They gave Shakeri a deadline to come up with an assassination plan faster than Trump can type a tweet. And get this, they told him, if he couldn't do it before the election, to hold off until after, because they thought Trump might lose anyway. It's like they were trying to time their nefarious deeds with the precision of a cat deciding whether to knock a glass off a table. This whole fiasco is part of Iran's grand plan to get revenge for the US taking out their General Qasem Soleimani back in 2020. It's like a geopolitical game of tag. You drone our general, we'll try to assassinate your president. Totally normal international relations, right? About as normal as a dog in a catsuit. Attorney General Merrick Garland, in his infinite wisdom, declared Iran a persistent threat. He stated, "There are few actors in the world that pose as grave a threat to the national security of the United States as does Iran." Well, knock me over with a feather. In other breaking news, water is wet, and mice don't enjoy being chased. But seriously, folks, Garland's not wrong. Iran's been busier than a cat in a room full of laser pointers. From hacking Trump's campaign to planning his assassination. Talk about multitasking. Let's talk cold, hard cash. Because apparently, the going rate for assassinating a president is $100,000. Inflation's hitting everything these days, but the IRGC wasn't too worried about the budget. They told Shakeri, money's not an issue. Well, that's comforting. At least someone's economy is doing well. I hear they're thinking of changing their currency to assassination bucks. This plot has turned New York into a real-life spy movie set. I hear the Statue of Liberty is auditioning for a Bond girl role, with Lady Liberty shaken, not stirred. But jokes aside, this is serious stuff. US-Iran relations were already icier than a cat's demeanour when you tried to give it a bath. This plot just turned it into a full-blown diplomatic ice age. The charges against Shakeri, Rivera and Lodeholt read like a game of international Clue. It was Shakeri in New York, with the long-distance orders from Iran. They're facing potential sentences that make 9 lives seem like a catnap. We're talking over 200 years each if convicted. That's longer than it takes a cat to decide whether it wants to be inside or outside. Meow. Let's not forget the historical context here. US-Iran relations have been about as smooth as a cat's tongue since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. It's been a non-stop game of diplomatic cat and mouse, with each side trying to outmaneuver the other. This assassination plot is just the latest hairball in a long line of diplomatic cough-ups. The FBI's counterintelligence efforts in uncovering this plot were like a cat stalking a particularly elusive mouse. They pounced at just the right moment, leaving Shakeri and his cohorts caught like mice in a trap. It's almost enough to make you feel sorry for them. Almost. As for the impact on US domestic politics, well, it's about as predictable as a cat's mood swings. Trump's supporters are using it as proof that he's still the top dog, or should I say top cat, while his opponents are probably wondering if they can borrow Iran's playbook for the next election cycle. Just kidding, folks. Remember, Assassination attempts are never the answer, no matter how much you disagree with someone's politics or hairstyle choices. So, what's next in this international game of cat and mouse? Will diplomacy handle this with a strongly worded tweet? Will the Secret Service upgrade from sunglasses and earpieces to full-body armour and force fields? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, if you thought this story was wild, just wait till you hear what's next. Make sure you're subscribed to Newscats for more perfectly delivered news. After all, curiosity may have killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Thanks for tuning in to Newscats. I'm Ron de Parmesan, reminding you that in the world of international politics, it's always cat eat cat out there. Stay sharp, stay informed, and maybe invest in a bulletproof scratching post. Meow and good night.